You're listening to today's inspirational message on the Proverbs with Kurt Bjorklund.
Proverbs 12 has a lot of different thoughts and themes that we could consider. And I'm going to skip most of the things on words and some of the just contrasting ideas of wickedness and righteousness. But I do want to point out this proverb. Proverbs chapter 12, verse 9 says, "It's better to be lowly and have a servant than to play the great man and lack bread." And in a sense, this is driving at something that is really putting self-promotion at the core of not living a wise life. Alan Ross, who comments on this, says, "The point seems to be that the same people who live beyond their means in a vain show, there are some people who live beyond their means in a vain show, whereas if they lived modestly, they could have some of the conveniences of life." And the phrase here that is used in verse 9 about nobody, better to be a lowly servant than to play the great man and lack bread is really this. One version says it's better to be a nobody and yet have a servant than to pretend to be somebody and have food. And so the nobody phrase here is the Hebrew galah, and it means to be highly esteemed. It comes from galah, and to be dishonored is to be degraded. And so there's a sense that you're trying to get more than what you deserve. And so when you concern yourself with a reputation for success, you may miss real success. And it's better to be lightly thought of and have means than to be well thought of and to be struggling to make ends meet. And so the implication here is don't seek to be well thought of. Don't exaggerate your importance. Don't be annoyed at being poorly thought of or being seen as being kind of a lightweight. In fact, go out of your way not to draw attention to your resources. I think that's part of what's in view here is it's saying be aware of this. And then in Proverbs 12, verse 16, we see this. It says, "The vexation of a fool is known at once, but the prudent ignores an insult." One of the things that happens when we are taken with our own importance is we're annoyed at every insult, and so we don't ignore it. And a fool will basically get angry at an insult, and it will be seen and known, but a wise person will ignore it. And the NLT says they'll stay calm. They'll not let it come to heart, basically. So it's prudent to overlook an insult, and it's foolish to get agitated and angry, and it belies, again, this issue of self-promotion. And self-praise, when we do it, almost always backfires because what it does is it makes it so that we seem less and less important to other people. I think it was Shakespeare who said, "Pride is its own trumpet, and whatever praised itself but the deed devours the deed it praises." Derek Kidner, in talking about this proverb, says, "Only God's praise in Christ cannot be angled for and cannot be corrupted." And the reason that self-praise is deadly is because it takes us from getting our acclaim, our sense of well-being from what God has said about us in Jesus Christ and through the gospel, and it moves us to being somebody who's trying to get other people to give us credit and praise that we can only get from God, and it will cause us to do stupid things in order to receive or to garner this praise, this acclaim that we're trying to get. And so today, as you look at the Proverbs, just ask yourself, am I trying to appear to be better at something, have more of something, be smarter than I really am, or am I underplaying these things and resting in the praise of God? And perhaps it's how you handle insults that tells you what you're really, really looking for in your life. And that is a way to understand where you're looking for your validation, where you're looking for your acclaim.
Thanks for joining us here today. There's a lot of great content to explore on Orchard Hill Plus and on the Orchard Hill main feed from the weekend. Have a great day.